All right, Liftoff 2022, episode 2. Welcome. We are, as of yesterday, 6 weeks out from the WNBF Muscle Mayhem competition for bodybuilding. Today is a week 7 recap. So we're just going to get right into it for the prep of this. This past week in the mornings with my morning walks was freaking cold, man. Like, it was cold, and I carry my coffee cup with me, and I need to get a handle for that sucker because I have to switch it back and forth because my hands get so cold. But right here, this is just the morning, how it kind of starts off in terms of making breakfast and whatnot. This footage right here is from a refeed that I got to do over this past couple days. So right now I have 5 low-calorie days where I'm eating around 2,000 calories a day. And then I have 2 days of refeeding, so 2 days of higher calories at about 2,600. And so that's Friday and Saturday for me are those refeed days. And that's just to help, in terms of how that's scheduled, just in terms of helping me plan out my studying and making sure that I'm getting good time with my wife and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like, I eat pretty much the same thing every day right now. But on these refeed days, I like to add a little bit more carbs into my breakfast and then a little more carbs into a snack a few hours later. And this is what that breakfast looks like. So for the love of carbs, make some heart-shaped waffles. And got some sweet potatoes under there with some eggs, egg whites, some ham on the side, so it's a good time. But into the thing, the exciting stuff. So this was at the beginning of the week. Just wanted to record what a physique looks like at the beginning of the week. And this is 2 refeed days and then a low day, and then there's this footage right here. So still a little bit depleted because of that one low day there. But it's nothing like the 5 days into a lower calorie week. So this is just some footage that I got to kind of help show that even what a 1 day difference can look like in terms of physique when it comes down to getting as lean as you need to. And when you start to refeed and you start to be able to see things that can affect your physique overnight, or even during the day, hour by hour, like, you start to notice and pick up on some things. So, during refeeds right now, like, I dry up a ton and, start to get pretty grainy looking. And it's just like a much better look compared to the rest of the week where I feel like I'm holding more water around my midsection and, I'm not as full muscularly. So this is just some good footage to get in terms of just being able to keep your head on straight, like being able to look back at like earlier in the week versus later in the week, and be able to truly see like, okay, yeah, the scale's not moving that much at this point, but we're still losing fat, and I can tell that on a week-to-week basis because of these refeeds and the way that I look when I start to dry up and soak up a lot of that water kind of intramuscularly. So, things were looking pretty good on that front. And then, this next footage here is uh, post 1 day of refeeding. So just grainier, man, just grainier and just tighter, especially around the midsection. My legs are still something that I feel like could lose a good amount of fat, but man, even the chest and the shoulder striations, like they're just coming in fuller and just grainier, like I said. So starting to get pretty happy with the way this is looking. Although I personally feel like I have a good ways to go in terms of some extra weight that needs to come off and some extra body fat that needs to come off here. So But overall looking fuller, on those refeed days, wider. You can just see the V taper is even better than the footage from the beginning of the week. But I try not to catch other people in these vlogs as much as I can, but sometimes people are just there and can't really help it. So. But my presses, everything this past week as far as training goes, felt really awesome because switched out some things. I had a deload week in my 8 weeks out. During my 8 weeks out, I had a deload week, and it was great. Really felt like I took advantage of that and was able to deload pretty well and take it easier during the sets. But I also reduced a lot of bigger sets from 3 to 2, which really helped in my ability to recover from the workouts, which was very encouraging because up to that point it had felt like man, workouts were really starting to become a chore. But this whole week, my workouts, this whole past week of week 7 weeks out felt great. It felt like okay, yeah. We're able to move some weight during these 2 sets that we're able to do during these bigger movements like this row, and get a really, really great lat contraction, and especially during this. For some reason, I pictured myself doing this movement earlier that day, and I couldn't not switch up the exercise and do it. Felt really, really good. It was promising, and it came through. Of course, we have our lat pull downs. Those are still hanging in there around the same weight that we've been at. But yeah, overall, the pumps and everything just better. And, the biggest thing that I noticed my improvements in were just my pushing movements felt stronger, which is hard to come by 6 weeks out like this when you've been prepping for a, bodybuilding competition, especially as a natural for, close to 26 weeks now. Yeah, that improvements are harder to come by. So it was really nice to get that and feel that. And lateral raises, feel as great as normal. The biggest thing, of course, enjoyability wise right now is just seeing the shoulder striations coming in, as those are generally what tends to get shredded most on me first. Which I think is the case for a lot of people. But yeah, really looking for the legs and the glutes to come in, and get that there. So, we're gonna do our best to make that happen. So, as far as leg movements go, this past week, Romanian deadlifts felt pretty much the same. Although, like I said, I was feeling stronger in general, which was great. But even on the lower body stuff, starting to see like more lines, more calf definition, and the hamstrings coming in a little less fat, right under like the glute folds, which is encouraging to see, and because that part and then the top of the glutes are just where it tends to stick, man. So. Even leg extensions this past week, I was able to increase those, the weight on that, which felt great. I was super grateful to be able to do that. And honestly, by the time the end of the 3rd set came, I felt like I could have gone heavier. But I decided, I'd already increased the weight, didn't want to push it too much, because at this point, it's not like during this kind of deficit I'm really gonna gain any muscle mass. So do enough to make the muscle stick around, get some good pumps, make sure the motor recruitment's still going on that needs to happen, and continue from there. But the surprise thing, I wasn't able to get on the leg press, but I was able to get on this hack squat, and man, my knees felt fine, which was a huge blessing for me. It was awesome. And felt like lighter weight than normal in terms of when I used to hack squat, but we're 35 pounds different now and haven't been hack squatting for a long time. And what was nice is even after the 2 good sets of this, like I recovered fine just through the week, which was very encouraging. And it's something that's interesting to note as well is I've noticed that as I continue losing weight and continue losing body fat, and my center of gravity just kind of changes underneath this weight, whether it be dumbbell presses or this hack squat or whatever it is, my body tends to favor a little bit narrower of a stance. And I think, if I were to think about that, it would just be because of the center of gravity, right? Like just getting my body right under that weight more. So narrower stances have been feeling a lot better for me recently. And then, of course, we have to show that we're doing the work on these calves as best we can. So overall, week 7, 7 weeks out, amazing week. Really hope week 6 continues into this. We'll see if we're going to drop some calories here and make another good push. Last week, we started the 15K steps a day, so we'll see what adjustments we make. But I'll see you guys next week.